One is greening. Two is network. The third word is environment. They'll say environmental, but it's environment. And the fourth is law. So those are the key words. And once we resonate with these key four words, then the context of this conference comes into place. And so we are talking about the environment. Let us begin with the environment. The world is having to grapple with three key challenges which have intensified in terms of impact on human life over the years. And these three key challenges are environmental degradation or pollution. The second is climate change. And the third is the loss of biodiversity. And these three key challenges have impacted upon livelihoods across this north-south dichotomy in ways that are difficult to quantify, and yet they are there for us to see. A few years ago, if you thought about climate change, maybe not even years, but just a few, years ago, somebody would have said, what is this animal called climate change? It was academic, almost utopian, okay? Today, it is on everyone's lips, even if we do not appreciate, okay, what it means in terms of its impact on day-to-day livelihoods of people within the country, the region, and internationally. The same can be said of environmental pollution, although the discourse around the environment, environmental degradation has been with us since the early 1970s, culminating the Stockholm Conference, the seminal publication, Our Common Future, and so that discourse has been with us. But the nexus between the three has attracted attention, increasingly attracting attention. And now we are not able to even predict when the rains shall come and the quantities in which the rains shall come. We're not able to predict for how long we shall be without rains or the droughts. What we are experiencing is that this lack of knowledge and therefore capacity to come up with mitigation measures has impacted on our lives. And now we have prolonged droughts, we have famine, we have hunger, we have disease, we have conflict over disappearing biodiversity, scarce resources. When you talk about banditry, it's not just a word of banditry. This is a life and death fight over scarce resources. This is a fight for life and death, fight for life. This morning we got a very good piece. I don't know whether it's in the Standard or the Nation, on the right to clean and healthy environment. And so we are having to grapple with these problems. And that's why at the UN level we came up with the SDGs, to which I think the US had reference, Sustainable Development Goals. And now this brings us into the whole question of sustainable development. And as human beings grapple with all these challenges, we must make sure that the policies, the laws, and the programs we are setting in place for future survival, for current and future survival, are sustainable. And therefore, sustainable development as a concept is addressing, again, three key areas. We're addressing the economic development. We're addressing social development or social inclusivity. We're addressing, if I really talk about social inclusivity, social development, we're addressing the political, we're addressing the politics. And then thirdly, we're addressing the ecological development. So the interface, the nexus between those three is what then gives rise to the concept of sustainable development. All these are going to characterize the discourses that will take place in this conference. Now, where is the judiciary in all this? Perhaps the fifth word I should have mentioned is judiciary. So we have greening, we have judiciary, we have network, we have environment, and we have law. All those. So where is the judiciary? All this. Traditionally, the role of the judiciary is like an impartial and concerned neutral arbiter disputes. But that cannot no longer be the role of the judiciary. The judiciary must be an integral part in the worldwide fight to attain the SDGs. So where is the judiciary? Where are the judiciaries in all this? The conflicts, the disputes that are coming up for resolution, either within or outside the forum of the judiciary. How resonating are our judiciaries, are our courts? How informed are they? What is the jurisprudence that is emerging from decisions by our courts, not just in Kenya, but regionally and internationally? Here in Kenya, we already have seen that we've got the Environment and Land Court, and our constitution is very, very, very clear on the need to conserve the environment. We'll have to make reference to, I think, is it Article 69? That chapter on land and environment, and what Judge, you are well informed, perhaps, I say perhaps more than me, perhaps you're well informed on these matters. So Article 69 places a duty on the state to make sure that our environment is our resources are sustainably exploited. Obligations of the state in respect to the environment, the state shall ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of the environment and natural resources, and ensure the equitable sharing of the accruing benefits. You can read that. We are trying to bring that article to life, bring life into that article. And therefore, what we are seeing is that time has come for the judiciaries within this part of the world, and perhaps the world, to establish networks for dialogue, the dialogue that Rose was talking about. Networks for sensitization within and among themselves, but for the benefit of society. To continuously converse, to interrogate. We want courts, we want judges and magistrates who are informed and conscious in matters environment and sustainable development, who are intellectually adept at these things, and who can render decisions that are not just decisions in persona between the litigants, decisions that will impact positively upon society within the country, the region, and the world. Landmark decisions, but those decisions cannot come from a judiciary that is not equipped, that is not informed, that is not conscious, and that is not intellectually adept at the ongoing discourses. So nowadays we're dealing with a modern judiciary, not that, sitting on a tree and waiting for disputes to come and then in oracular fashion dispense justice. That's not judiciary. The judiciary of the people. If it was from our courts by way of jurisprudence for current and future generations, that is the role of the Kenyan Judiciary Academy. And again, this is constitutionally anchored. I think that is Article 172, if I'm right, and I think Frida is judges would hear nothing about continuing education. What is it you're going to teach a judge? These are learned people. They know everything. And therefore, even with this article initially, one could see a resistance from the judiciary. So who is going to train us in what? For what? That kind of attitude. No longer. It is now clear that for an effective court, the courts, judges, magistrates must continually learn, must continually educate, must continually engage in terms of intellectual discourse. And this is where the Kenyan Judiciary Academy comes in, because the Judicial Service Commission has delegated that function to the Academy. And now the Academy actually develops training calendars, develops curriculum, develops content, and facilitates gatherings like these ones. And talk about gatherings like these ones, we moving forward, you have one boy here. The Academy looks forward to engaging with the media on various issues, because you're already experts in journalism, but we need to engage in terms of the content that you carry, the content that you feed to your readers, and that's why all forms of media, in my view, are critical in this discourse. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's broadly the context within which this conference is taking place. You've been told that we have Chief Justices coming over. We'll have over 20 Chief Justices being hosted by the Judiciary and the Academy. We'll have experts in matters of the environment and climate change. We'll have judges who have rendered decisions following disputes revolving around those three thematic areas, sharing with us their experience. And therefore we are going to have a conversation. And without the media, without you, this conversation will take place within the four halls of Safari Park, and it will end there. Or it might find, the content might find place in international journals for people to write PhDs and master's theses. But what about the people? And that's where the media is critical for us. You are the cog in the entire dialogue. And I hope that for those of you who have been invited, you will not just come to cover the opening and then run away, then come to cover the end. We want you to be part of us, to ask questions, just like I'm sure we're going to see clarifications now. So I don't want to talk much, but I hope I have contextualized the conference that is forthcoming. Thank you very much.